How's it going, guys? Dynamite here, coming to you as always from the Digital Warfare 24/7 forums, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys something a little bit different. I know we haven't done any shotgun gameplay yet, but here is my boy Psychotic Dust rocking the Diamond S12. Very nice. You'll see him approaching this doorway here, and oh, he's going to get taken out. Let's go back and use this to talk a little bit about how you should be approaching corners in Call of Duty. You want to move around at a radius so that you're viewing a slightly larger and larger area of a corner or doorway like that as you're approaching it. Maybe use some of those paintball barriers as a head glitch as you're moving around to sort of check in that corner. I understand that he had his very nice diamond knife out to get that added mobility, so he was thinking he'd get across the map very quickly and get himself established, but it didn't end up working out for him there. So let's roll and let's see what his approach is. Now you'll see exactly why he wants to get into this area so bad, and once he gets there we're going to discuss it a little bit more. He is going to move back through paintball, which is a really great place to be if you're rocking a shotgun or something like that, like Dust is. This map in general is probably one of the most knife-friendly and shotgun-friendly maps that has been released. Now you're going to see him moving into this room right here, and he's going to be operating around it a lot. He ends up taking out these guys back here. He circles around this side. You'll notice that he's doing all of his work right in this area. And let's pause real quick and talk about why. Now, as we look at an overhead of this map, we're going to see that there are basically three areas adjoining this sort of little area that he's been patrolling. One of them is going to be the paintball area, one of them is going to be this room, and another one is going to be the sandy courtyard outside. Now, what I really like about this, and the reason why I think he's chosen this area to patrol, is let's take a look at his perks. We'll see that he's rocking awareness and dead silence. Now, both of those perks together, they are Soundwhore perks. It has been a while since Soundwhoring has been really good in Call of Duty. In Modern Warfare 3, it was especially good. I can remember being really frustrated whenever I didn't run either dead silence or sit rep. But when Black Ops 2 was first released, Soundwhoring was basically completely ineffectual. They did buff it since then, and you're going to see Psychotic Dust taking full advantage of that. So like I said, there are these three adjoining areas, and the reason why he's patrolling this area, I think, or at least in part, is that for one, it's on the edge of the enemy spawn, so it's going to be getting a lot of traffic. For two, it's nice and close range, which is going to work well for his shotgun. And three, and the reason why I really wanted to highlight this, is that each one of these three areas that I just highlighted is going to have a different footstep profile. And now that you guys have heard that, you can see that all three have very different sound profiles, so that's really going to enable Dust to pinpoint exactly where they're coming from. So let's roll here as he is moving through here. Now we're going to pause right about here. Did you hear that? Let's go back and play that sound clip one more time. You can distinctly hear that crunch, crunch, scrunch noise of the footsteps on the sandy gravel outside this room. And this is the reason why Dust is going to be holding down this area. Now you'll see him moving back into this side of the spawn. It looks like his teammates have flipped it pretty well. Now let's pause and look at the minimap right here. So he has players over at C. He has players over at A. The only place where his teammates really aren't at are in the middle. So there's a pretty good bet that they're either going to be in the paintball court or upstairs in this wooden structure over to his right. Now, knowing that, he's going around a blind corner reloading, and that seems to me like it might be a little bit of a recipe for disaster. So let's see what happens. He's going to go around here. He's going to manage to pick one guy off, but wow, look at that. They're all spawning in there. You really have to look out for that secondary spawn position when you have friendly teammates who are occupying both sides of the map like that. Now he's going to work his way back into where he's been hanging out. Does a really good job picking up those two guys. And now he's going to sit just for a second And he does a really good job. He hears that guy. But now let's pause again real quick. One disadvantage of where he's sort of holding down right now is that probably the longest lines of sight in this map, which overall has very short lines of sight, are probably going to be on this side of the map looking out from the spawn. People spawn all around the edge of the map here, and those lines of sight are going to extend into the middle of the map. If you are someone trying to take advantage of the very short lines of sight on Rush, I do advise that you stay away from running out into that particular area, especially when it looks like enemies are spawning there and you can't approach it from a safe side. Don't approach it up the middle. I think he does approach it around the left at one point, and that does end up working out a little bit better for him. So let's get back on board with Psychotic Dust as he respawns here. He is going to be heading through Paintball Court, and he goes right again to this room. He is going to be stopping and waiting. He's listening. He's trying to use his sound whoring abilities, but that guy has anticipated him. He's gone back to the same spot too many times at this point. He gets a pretty favorable spawn there. At this point, I really would have liked to have seen him maybe move around to the wooden side, because that hollow thunk sound of footsteps on wood would work really well for him with his sound whore class. As it is, though, he's going to spend the vast majority of his time over around the paintball courts, which, as I explained earlier, isn't too bad. Right there you saw, that was some really bad lag. He should have killed that guy, but if we pause, we can actually see that even if he had killed that guy, he would have been killed by the two people behind him, and he could have played that situation a lot better. So you can see as we have it paused here, if you look at the minimap, he knows that people are coming towards him from Paintball Court, and his decision here is to run straight at the doorway, which is a decision that we've seen him make other times as well. What I really would have liked to have seen him do is sort of slide off to the left and wait for them to maybe pass him by and then shoot him in the back. Always approach enemies that you know are oncoming from an oblique angle. Do not approach them head on, because that is inevitably going to end up getting you killed. So let's hop back on board with Dust here. He is going through Paintball Court again, stopping to listen every now and again. He's going to set up in here. He sees a guy outside. He's going to pick him up. But once again, like I said earlier, those lanes of fire from that spawn are such that if you're rocking that short-range weapon, you really do not want to be poking out there. And here, again, he goes for that same spot. I think at this point, he just really needs to switch up the routes that he is going to be running. Undeterred, though, he does seem to be headed back to this room. He is going to end up picking up that guy there. Now, right here, he is going to actually... It's interesting to discuss that with awareness, the perk does actually not just increase footsteps, it also increases the noise of enemy callouts, like when they say reloading or something like that. Right there, he heard that guy speak and he went after him, but as he was going after him, he tried to pick up the reload right before he engaged. And there are a couple times in this video, I think, where Dust maybe doesn't time his reloads quite as well. He has plenty of rounds left. He has 4 rounds left there, so it would have been better for him to go up for the engagement first of all, instead of reloading while he's trying to figure out where that guy is. So let's continue rolling here, and let's see where Dust is going to run to next. He's got a UAV up. He sees a guy going up the middle. That's an area of the map where I feel like he'd really excel, but he seems very much drawn to this paintball area. An interesting thing to note is that these paintball barriers are completely impervious to bullets, so it's just like you're playing real paintball. Now right here he's going to reload, and right there you're going to hear him pick up the noise of someone walking on that AstroTurf, and he knows distinctly both from the direction in his headset and from the noise that he's hearing that it is in fact going to be someone coming from paintball and not coming from the sandy area. So now he's going to spawn over on the opposite side of the map, and you can see from his UAV that there's a guy right in there. That's the guy that was lagging around, that lagged through the doorway and killed him earlier, so Dust is going to be able to pick him up without too much difficulty. Moving through the paintball area again, you're going to see him make a pretty nice move here. So he has people coming up from the spawn. He's not going to approach through the middle this time. Instead, he's going to flank around the left, and that is really the best way to attack this spawn, I think. If you go through the middle, you're going to run right into those fire lanes that I highlighted earlier. Here, he's able to get up in their business. He's able to take out a couple guys, and he's on the bloodthirsty streak. Right there, if we pause and go back to look at the minimap, this is something that I addressed earlier too. As you're looking at the minimap, you can see multiple people approaching, and yet he's going to try to pick up the reload, even though he has so many rounds left in his shotgun to work with. He needs to be maybe a little bit more aware of how many enemies are coming towards him and not just focus on the first enemy. So he seems to do a pretty good job of at least taking out one person, but maybe to plan ahead a little bit on how he's going to engage multiple enemies with that S12 would be a good thing to see from Psychotic Dust here. Now you're going to see him moving back towards the paintball area once again, and right here there's going to be something really interesting. If you listen right there, you saw him spin and look and shoot. I'm going to pause it right here while we watch it back a couple times. I distinctly heard that footstep too, so it's not just Dust going crazy. I don't understand what that noise came from, but it was clearly off to his left, and it was clearly an enemy footstep even though there wasn't anyone there, so I'm not sure what was going on there. Right here we do see Dust approaching one of the slightly longer sight lines that looks from paintball into this adjoining room here, and he's going to do a really good thing. Shotgunners need to make really good use of tactical grenades to pin their enemies in situations like this where they're maybe at a bit of a range disadvantage. They don't have quite the reach they need. So watch this here. As we get it rolling again, he's going to toss out a stun, and he should have had this. He should have had this right here, but the thing is, that guy had ADS'd right on the corner right before he got stunned, which is a little bit unlucky, but what he also could have done to ensure that kill is he could have halo jumped or strafe jumped out to the side there, and there you see that guy who killed him earlier actually picked up his shotgun and killed his teammate with it, but Dust is quick to reclaim that. Now check out this play right here. This is a really good bit of advice for shotgun users and something that Dust does really well. You'll hear there that he waits for that guy to expend his entire load. He blows his entire load of bullets all over the map, and then Dust is basically able to just walk right up on this guy because he has an empty magazine in his gun. Try to listen and figure out how many bullets your enemy has expended, and you might find yourself being able to time your engagements really, really well, especially when you have a shotgun and you need to get up close and personal to confirm the kill. So we'll see Dust picking up that guy there very nicely, and he is going to be moving back towards their spawn. He is once again going to assault them through the left side, which is the best way to approach in my opinion. You can see he's rocking Scavenger there, so he has all these stuns to work with. He really would have gone on a nice tear if he had been able to get back in there, but the game does end. As we see there, he's put up a very nice score, 25 and 11, and when you're playing solo and you're leading your team using a shotgun, that really says something about your skills with a shotgun. I know that Psychotic Dust, he highly favors this weapon class. Obviously, he has them in Diamond. Really good showing from there with the shotgun, and really good example of how to take advantage of Rush. So guys, get out there, put your shotguns on, and enjoy this close quarters map that is probably the smallest map, not just in the Vengeance map packs, but in Call of Duty in general. Thank you so much for watching.